Case summary by Deepak Miglani, Queen Empress vs. Abdullah. Section 8 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 provides for the relevancy of three principal facts which are very important in connection with every kind of civil or criminal case. They are motive, preparation, conduct. It is necessary under Section 8 that the conduct in question should either influence the facts or be itself influenced by the facts. This requirement of this section was the subject of close scrutiny by the full bench of the Allahabad High Court in Queen Empress vs. Abdullah. Facts of the case: Abdullah was prosecuted for the murder of a young girl called Dulari, who was of age between 15 and 20 years. The girl was described as a prostitute. She was attacked while asleep in her home. It was morning and there was sufficient light to enable her to identify her assailant, who cut her throat with a razor. She might have attempted to remove his hand, as there was a cut injury on her left thumb also. She was taken to police station and thence to a hospital where her mother, the Kotwal, a deputy magistrate and assistant surgeon repeatedly attempted to know from her the name of the person who had injured her. But she was unable to speak, her throat being cut. She was, however, fully conscious and lifted her eyes to look upon every man who wanted to talk with her. She endeavored to answer the questions by nodding her head, but surgeon forbade her from doing so, as it was prejudicial to the wound. Her mother then spotted her elbow and, thus unable to answer questions by negative or affirmative signs of her hand. The magistrate mentioned many names to her: Ismail, Akbar Khan, Hussain, Khudabakhsh and the like, and asked regarding them one by one if they had wounded her, but every time she made a negative sign. When the name Abdullah was mentioned, she made an affirmative sign. Then by a number of successive questions, she revealed the particulars about Abdullah: that she was alone at the time, no other person besides Abdullah being there, that no lamp was burning, but that it was morning and she could see, and that the cut was given with a razor. She died on the third day. On these facts, the session judge of Aligarh convicted Abdullah of murder. On Abdullah's appeal, a reference was made to the full bench of Allahabad High Court over the question whether the affirmative signs of the hand the deceased made in response to the questions put to her were relevant under Section 8 as the conduct of an injured person, or under Section 32 as a dying declaration. Judgment. It was held by a majority of 3 judges as against 1 that Section 8 was not applicable, but that the evidence was relevant under Section 32 as a dying declaration. Chief Justice Pateram, with whom 2 judges agreed, proceeded on the hypothesis that to attract Section 8, the conduct must be influenced directly by the facts, not by the interposition of words spoken by third persons. He was of the view that the signs of the hand were not influenced by the facts, but by the questions. But for the questions, there was nothing in them to connect anybody with injury. Left to themselves, those signs would indicate nothing. The attention of the learned Chief Justice was drawn to the explanation 2, which provides that when the conduct of a person is relevant, any statement made to him which influences that conduct would be relevant. It was suggested that the words of the questions were statements which brought forth the signs and thus influenced the conduct of the injured person. The learned Chief Justice rejected this reasoning. In his view, the conduct must be relevant first, and then any statement influencing that conduct becomes relevant. In this case, the signs of the hand was a conduct which indicated nothing and were therefore irrelevant, and any statement influencing an irrelevant conduct would also be relevant. The learned Chief Justice, however, held that the evidence was relevant under section 32. This section provides that any statement, whether written or verbal, made by a person as to the cause of his death is relevant. The signs of the hand, when looked at through the medium of the questions, did explain the cause of death, but how could it be regarded as a verbal statement? The Chief Justice explained that when the question was put to her that whether Abdullah had caused the wound, and she had nodded yes, this in effect amounted to her saying that Abdullah had wounded her. By the affirmative answer, she had adopted the words of the question and it became her verbal statement. Justice Mahmood held that the conduct in question was relevant under section 8 but not under section 32. He did not agree with this strange reasoning by which conduct was reduced to verbal statement and held relevant not under the section which deals with conduct but under the section which deals with verbal statements. He said that he would willingly defer to the opinions of those whose mother tongue was English, but as a judge he was bound to form the best opinion, and to him verbal statement could not mean more than by means of a word or words. Nodding the head or waving the hand is not a word. He therefore put aside clause 1 of section 32, which according to him could only apply to statements written or verbal. Case details. Please like the video, share the video and subscribe the YouTube channel. Thank you.